questions about the church massacre in Texas. The president was asked if increased spending for gun purchases in the U.S. would not stop the carnage.
Now you're bringing up a situation that probably shouldn't be discussed too much right now. If you did what you're suggesting.
Okay, it's November 7th, 2017 at 9:04 a.m. according to Bloomberg. We're looking out of the 6th floor window of the Times Square Hotel, 255 West 43rd Street. We're looking direction northwest, west about 30 degrees. This is about 30-40 feet from my window. These smokestacks are operated by John's Pizzeria. Located at they're operated by John's Pizzeria, located at 260 West 44th Street. We went there one time to protest, and someone older, well, I don't want to say older, but middle-aged white man came out and said that that there was no reason for us to complain, that the problem had already been fixed. If the problem had already been fixed, how do you explain this video here? And well, you can hear Bloomberg talking in the background to prove this is a live recording. Okay.
p.m. Eastern Time. I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm going to watch a preview because it's on
I
the system
know.
already.
Yeah.
Go to my desk and
Not
watch it.
quite yet.
Okay.
But I'll be really tired on Friday because I'm going to stay up and watch
I
it.
was hoping I could see. Still ahead on this program, just around the corner, we'll look at the impact of the new tax bill on markets. In the market this morning after a record high close in yesterday's session. Futures are going absolutely nowhere on the Dow and on the S&P 500 with the open just 20 minutes away. This is Bloomberg.
The Hewlett-Packard Enterprise Green Room is brought to you in partnership with Bloomberg. Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, accelerating next.
Is my broker getting paid to recommend certain funds to me? You shouldn't have to wonder. Now there's a new, better way to invest. As the largest independent online financial advisor, Betterment only recommends funds that they believe are best for you. Invest the new, better way at Betterment.com.
Imagine the possibilities. With Interactive Brokers One World account, you can borrow against your account at the lowest rates. And your idle balance earns high interest, or even more by lending your shares. Plus, with the Interactive Brokers Debit MasterCard, spend anywhere that MasterCard is accepted. With direct access to over 100 global exchanges, you have the power to invest at lower cost. And all in one account. Transfer your account today at ibkr.com/oneworld. Interactive Brokers. One world, one account.
Dentec knows teeth grinding can feel like 250 pounds of pressure. Stop the painful grind with Dentec Dental Guards. Dentec's snug top layer and protective bottom layer end the grind. Protect with Dentec.
Northern Ireland is home to Europe's most business-friendly city of its size, and our people are agile with a mindset that gets results. That's why 75% of new investors reinvest. Northern Ireland, all together, more.
My name is Joy. I'm Mara.
And I'm Tony. Since starting with Groupon,
Our sales are up
65, well over 100%, and we're adding 2 new locations.
Groupon.
Where businesses grow and customers save.
Groupon.
Let's get started. Show of hands. Who wants customizable options charts? Once they make it fast and easy to analyze and take action. How about some of the lowest options fees? Are you raising your hand? Good. Then it's time for Power E-Trade, the platform pricing service that gives you the edge you need. All right, one quick game of rock, paper, scissors. 1, 2, 3, go. E-Trade, the original place to invest online.
I really believe that it makes sense for North Korea to come to the table and to make a deal that's good for the people of North Korea and the people of the world. I do see certain movement, yes, but let's see what happens.
That was President Trump changing his tone on talks with North Korea. Maybe he's moving toward his Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson. We welcome now our Chief Washington correspondent, Kevin Cirilli, for more on the president's agenda. So take us through the president's agenda over there in Asia. What is he doing? What is he trying to accomplish, Kevin?
Well, President Trump in South Korea today after his first stops in Japan over the weekend, and then from there he'll head to China. And North Korea, clearly what is on everyone's minds for this trip in particular. We should note that while he was in Japan, he met with the victims and family members of folks who had been abducted by the North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un. So this comes at a time in which he's tried to get China and Russia to the table to pressure North Korea economically. The goal of the sanctions, I'm told, is that they want to try to limit North Korea dictator Kim Jong-un's ability to keep testing these missiles. But that said, the backdrop to any talks with Russia is going to be the Robert Mueller investigation, which is very much ongoing here in Washington. And so that poses some geopolitical risk for the president on this trip.
And so if that weren't enough, there's this little thing called tax reform that's pending up on Capitol Hill right now. Give us a sense of 2 things. Number one is, when do you think we'll actually have the bill that will be voted on by the House? Because they said they're going to mark it up in committee but not change it on the floor. And when will we have the Senate version?
The Senate version, I'm told, is going to be out on Thursday. Now, that's a one-day delay. We had the delay last week with the House version, and now we have the delay in the Senate. But I can tell you that Gary Cohn will be up on Capitol Hill later today. He's going to be meeting with lawmakers in both parties. He's also reaching out to Democrats. They want to peel away one or two Democrats, and Senator Joe Manchin, a Democrat from West Virginia, a centrist Democrat locked in a tough 2018 midterm of re-election fight. He is one of those Democrats that organized this meeting with Gary Cohn. So the divide amongst Republicans in the Senate, as well as to some extent in the House, is forcing the White House to try to look for different avenues to get votes. And if they're able to convince someone like a Joe Manchin or a Heidi Heitkamp that this is going to be good for them in states where President Trump does have strong support, then you could see some more pressure on them, which will be interesting to watch.
Okay, Kevin, thanks so much for your reporting throughout the program. Still with us here in New York is Tony Dwyer of Canaccord. So, Tony, as you described yourself, you're a perma bull. You have been, I think you said, since 2009.
Yep.
Okay, does what's going on in Washington with the tax reform, the potential that holds out, does that make you more of a bull, or is it just irrelevant?
No, if it comes down to the only thing that's locked in stone, David, is the 20% corporate tax rate. So Thomson Reuters did a study first that found that S&P operating profits will be up 10.5% if you get a 20% corporate tax rate next year. They did it by company, and so it was a terrific study. It's real. That's the only thing that Trump has said is absolute. I will not change the 20%. So I think the president's
See, it's still smoking up. I have to.
Focused on, but I don't need it. It's not in my numbers.
Well, you don't need it.
Hurts my throat.
Then you got I'll go to over 3,000 on the S&P. You go to a 20 multiple on over 150 in earnings, and I think that's probably too conservative. The only thing that makes for the peak. So many of us are focused on a peak, like, okay, the market's overbought, it can pull back. That's a peak. The peak of a cycle only comes with a recession. The only thing that brings on a recession is an inversion of the yield curve that shuts down credit. So the market peaks on average 7.2 months prior to a recession. You're not going to invert the curve based on the dot plot until third quarter next year. Your mean inversion is 15 months. You got a couple of years left. It's going to be more volatile. That I can promise you. But I think that it's going to be upside with volatility.
So, Tony, you're a perma bull, but I've got your year-end forecasts out to where the market is now. So what's going on?
What am I going to do? Raise it, 100 points just so I'm right? That's like a strategy, stupid thing to do. So I've been, in all my written stuff, I've been focusing on S&P 2800 because none of the institutions we service actually think that I'm any good at the short-term stuff. So I'm not focused on what's going to happen in the next month. I'm focused really on what can happen in the next 6 to 12 months, which is our client base.
Yeah.
And I think you can have meaningful upside from there. Can the market pull back? It totally could, but you could have made that call 6 months ago. And I just chose to avoid making that call.
So two things. One, 20% on a corporate tax rate. At the start of the year, a lot of people talked about the repatriation holiday that maybe these companies would get. Doesn't sound like a holiday to me anymore. It looks like they're going to be forced to bring this money home. They'll be charged 12%. And then what do they do with the money?
There's no companies that are going to pay 12% to bring their money back home. They've been preparing for this for a couple of years. So the odds are they're not in cash, quote unquote cash, which is under 1 year paper. They've already moved it into extended duration that'll pay 5%. So I think that may sound great for sound bites and the various when the congressmen and senators talk on TV, but it's really unlikely that a company is actually going to pay 12% on their repatriated cash.
Tony Dwyer of Canaccord, it's great to have you with us. He's sticking with us. Coming up on the program, we'll talk about a company that maybe you don't want to hear about, or maybe you do, maybe I don't want to talk about. Valeant shares up in the pre-market by about 15%. The drug maker reporting better than estimated third quarter results as the company tries to recover from years of turmoil. Can we talk about Valeant every day?
Oh my God, I do.
Well, every stock goes over $200. You're looking at $13.88.
It was good times, wasn't it, Alex?
It was the best. That Herbalife.
Herbalife.
Love it.
Tony Dwyer. We used to fill you with joy every morning. Sat at your desk.
1 hour special.
More joy.
Yeah, I bet. That's coming up. That's next. This is Bloomberg.
Okay, I have to shut the window. This smell is too strong.